chatting and you're like, check out how I just did this to your mate on some IRC, right? So you build up confidence, and then one of those guys opens their mouth of who they are, and then you get them that way. Yeah. So you got to figure. And then there's the whole psyops angle of this, where just me saying stuff like this makes everybody paranoid anyways. So, see, you never know. I'm personally.
I don't know. That internet community shit's weird, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm personally. I'll just speak for myself. I'm against attacking private property like that, even if it's in the virtual domain. But then again, are you ready for this? I know that a lot of people are outraged, and then there's that comes up in all these different ways, right? When people are outraged, we just don't know what the appropriate reaction to some events is. So I just go like, wow.
It's a new form of marketing. Yeah.
Well, it's all wrapped up. Now they're saying like Anonymous is attacking Syria, when you know for a fact the main people that are attacking Syria is Israel and America, because we're getting ready to whack those guys.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too.
Israel's attacking Syria, eh?
Well, not directly, but they did attack that last time. They tried to do a little. Today they whacked one of their biggest nuclear engineer, atomic engineer.
Really?
They shot that guy dead in a hail of bullets today. You don't think that was protesters, do you? Wow. They just decided to go hunt some guy down who was the head of the atomic program and shoot him 1,000,000 times?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, who do you think's doing that? Do you really think it's like Russia doing that?
Well, I guess it would be. No. Yeah, Israel does sound probably like the most appropriate candidate, I guess. Right?
Well, I don't think Israel goes it alone on some of this stuff. I think that they go.
Yeah.
They go it alone when they just feel like they have to, and then there's the whole thing that everybody's such a cheese bag they can be bought out, so it could be somebody from the inside.
Yeah.
But when it's a specific target on there, like the modus operandi always gives you away. That's how the police find everybody most of the time. When they solve a crime, they're like, who, you know what I mean? Who had the motive and the opportunity?
Yeah.
And so the base institute there in Israel they're pretty much. See, they don't ever want to be in a situation where they come in second place when it concerns their people, because they already learned from history what happens when they aren't, when somebody isn't looking out for them all the way.
Yeah.
So it's all understandable, besides the politics of however you feel about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because of history, you just go, well, what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Jesus?
Yeah. So what else is going on in Ottawa? So I hope that people understand when I'm talking about this stuff, that they can just listen. They don't have to agree with me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a perspective. I'm not trying to brainwash.
I don't think I know enough about it to really formulate a good opinion. I've been paying attention to it, really.
Well, the reason why it's important to me that I can see where all this stuff is going is because, I mean, I live in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Well, intercontinental ballistic missiles from Iran can hit here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's more pertinent to you, right? I'm like out in the woods, and I really don't have much to worry about.
Right. Well, if somebody was shooting them over the top.
Yeah.
And they got shot down over Canada. I mean, that's been the big thing since quite a while. It's been like, don't have a war over our country. The whole time with the U.S. and the Russians, it was like, please do not go to war directly over our heads.
The stuff they were launching was flying right over Canada. And Iceland, too, wasn't it?
All the time, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild, but...
So, are you prepared for this winter? Changing the subject.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go out and do some ice fishing this winter. That's for sure.
That sounds like fun, and you go with your friends, and you have a lot of time to talk.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, there's nothing really to do except sit around a hole and talk, right?
with a little space heater in a little shed, something like that, or you just go directly on the lake? How do you go?
Sit right on the lake, pretty good.
Really? You don't go in a little shed or none of that stuff? You know they bring those little ice houses.
Can't really get any more.
Huh.
There are lots of those. Actually, last winter, I went out with a friend of mine, and we had 2 snowmobiles. Cool. And one of them ran out of gas, and the other one, he left with the other one, like another friend of ours left with the other one. So we were stuck out there with no gas. And we had to walk a couple miles to a guy's hut and ask for gas, and it was and it was getting night out too. It was pitch black, and it was like,
wind chill and all
snowing,
that. Right?
It was scary. Yeah, it was crazy.
And how was he?
But we made it back alive.
Oh, he helped you out.
Well, he lent us his snowmobile, which was pretty wild, and we just drove it back to camp and got gas and came back.
That's so cool. That's being neighborly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Did he let you guys use his Wi-Fi connection? He's like, here's my password.
Yeah.
All for the Maple
Yeah,
Leafs.
exactly.
He's like, check this out, man. I got this new Stompin' Tom DVD. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, Stompin' Tom's worth it. I haven't the hut yet. Oh well.
So funny.
But what about Berlin? What's the winter like there?
Gets cold.
What's the winter like here?
It'll hit like, it'll once or twice it'll hit like minus 23 C.
Yeah.
So cold.
Really, yeah.
Yeah,
so you guys get a lot of snow then, eh?
A couple times it'll snow a pretty fair amount. But they've got all the machines here, so they don't even give a hoot. They're just like,
yeah.
They grind that ice. See, it tends to do this really weird thing here because, it's all about the Arctic jet stream and that battle, the air current. So it'll start sprinkling. So we get these like layer of ice, then some like couple inches of snow, and then another layer of ice, and we'll get like 3 feet. And it gets kind of dangerous because it'll sleet a lot.
Yeah.
But they just grind it right off the streets on any kind of main walkway, and the roads, they keep that stuff clean here.
Yeah, that's good.
In the airports and all
that.
Yeah,
man, it was bad here.
For the life of me, I can't figure out why they don't get their shit together in New York. New York. Those airports are so important, and every single year they're like, it's closed because of weather. Such a joke to claim you're
ridiculous.
To claim you're the #1 city in the world, and you can't like borrow some snow and de-icing gear from one of these countries, northern countries or something. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, the mayor's got billions of dollars. He could get some of those machines there. If you wanted to just go and, this shit makes me look bad when all the airports in the world get closed down because we don't invest in fucking $500,000 in one of these ice machines.
They put money into stupid shit.
It's just bizarre. I know they got a lot of responsibilities with that many people, but come on, screwing everybody's airplane. You'd probably be making money keeping that thing open. It's just like an excuse so they can go home and watch Oprah or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Go home and make popcorn.
Well, same here.
Canada,
like we get really this service too,
You know what?
Because they're
You know what?
Yeah.
Canada steps up to the plate. Even when in 911, man, they wouldn't let any of those planes that were in the air land in America at a certain point. That little piss-ass little fucking town in the Maritime Province opened up their airport, and they had like 500 fucking planes there. They opened up the supermarkets. They fed all those people. They gave everybody like a place to sleep inside a house because nobody knew how long it was going to, everybody was open up there. So come on, if the Maritime Provinces can do that for everybody, it's like, come on, New York, you're always, you're like saying,
you know how nice they are there though out east.
I like that. They aren't in the capital.
Oh man, they're the nice.
That's so cool. I don't think I've ever been to Ottawa. I don't think I ever went to Ottawa.
Really? Eh?
We played up in Saskatoon and all that stuff, but.
Wow, you played up.
Yeah, some drunken, Inuits fighting. It was so weird because we were playing in this big old hotel that they've got there downstairs. We were playing an old thing, and the snowdrifts were like literally like 3 meters high. It was so wild. There was so much snow, And it was one of those things where like people will come to a show just to start fights. So it was like all the people that came to see us versus all the people who didn't, and the locals just laughing in a full-on barroom fight. And I was like, people of Manitoba, put the chairs down. It's time to rock and roll. But they were like fully brawling. And I was like doing this voice, and I'm like, people of Manitoba, put the chair down. So funny.
Just freaking out.
It was really weird, though. It was really weird.
Well,
that was a weird experience. But of course,
man. I lived out in North Bay.
Yeah, a lot of young people.
I lived out North Bay.
A lot of young people, they move out there, like they get these civil servant jobs. So they right out of school.
Yeah.
You know, they have to take the placement, and they go up there, and they'll be working for the government or whatever. You know, the city or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or the forestry. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And for a couple years, and you just get these rabid BGM fans in the middle of nowhere. I think it's so funny. They're just like, you gotta play.
That's awesome, though.
I'm banned from Canada until 2014.
So 2014, why?
Because they saw a movie called Dig, and they saw me kick somebody that was fucking with me. It was all edited.
Seriously?
Yep.
That's why? Because of the movie?
Yep. They said I was undesirable.
Oh, fuck. That's cool.
And you can't get past those guys. You know, the weird thing is Canada's one of these countries where they got all the young guys working. Whoa! Commercial over there on Dead. I'm gonna zap that thing. Hold on. There we go. It's so funny they have the electronic car commercial for me. Anyway, they have these real young people working at the borders in Canada. They're hipsters. Yeah. It's so funny. A lot of those guys know who I am right when I'm coming. Besides the fact that your Facebook page just comes right up when you're at a border. It's so weird now. That thing is so secret spot. Really? Yeah, it's got your whole breakdown, like the summary of your social networking. Facebook has a page like that for each account. It's so silly. It's for law enforcement and shit. Yeah, I've seen it. I've looked right over their shoulder before at them looking at my shit, and I was just like laughing. But they've been getting. They were really serious. I mean, you get some of these young, real serious gun ho guys. You could swear they were Americans because they're such dicks about it. After 9/11, it was so weird at the U.S. borders because they had so many of those hothead jock type customs guys. That they had to get a couple of these old guys on every ship too, because the old guys are just like, chill out a little bit, you know. Well, this is our job. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be here a while. Yeah, chill out, Rambo. You know, but they're so weird with those wraparound glasses with the gold, like, you know, like rainbow. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I see them here all the fucking time. They're everywhere, man. They're like taking over the nation by a storm. I tell you, there's so many hipsters here too, though. Like, you're talking about hipsters. Oh my god.
Yeah, that does that.
And they all know. You're.
But does that bug the shit out of you a little bit? I like people to be themselves.
It does.
Yeah.
Me too. But the thing is, though, right? Like, they think they're being themselves, or they think they're being, like creative or whatever. I don't know what it is. Cool, I guess it is, but. It's just annoying because then you see like 1,000 of them, they flock to these festivals and events, and oh my god, it's just too much of them. But I guess it was like that.
It always was, man. Check this out. When you look at Woodstock, you go, wow, look at there's 500,000 people. It's so cool looking and wearing striped pants and shit. You just forget that all those people are just fucking don't even have a clue what they're fucking doing. And the first chance they got, you know, they stopped hitchhiking those Volkswagen buses and bought Volvos, and that's the yuppies right there. It's just like the yuppies' parents and all that shit. You know, it's always just like some people that kind of have an idea about some things they want to try out in life, and everybody else is just following. And you saw that with Kurt Cobain. You know, that was the whole thing. Even when he was alive, he was just bagging on his fans because everybody just grabbed a flannel shirt and pretend they were lumberjacks or something. And they were just like a massive, like 30 million losers just beating up and raping people at his shows or whatever. Yeah. It gets so annoying when everybody starts dressing like you.
Well, you must feel really bad, too, because you're like starting something like that, right? You know?
It's just like, I used to make fun of it, you know, because I've seen it happen so much to me in my life. It's sick. I was just like, you know, you just dress like me on fucking TV, pretend you're like me in a magazine. It's just like, fuck that.
I know. It's stupid. It's pointless. It's like backtracking.
It gets so annoying, you know. I've been wearing these like Levi's stuff, you know, my whole life, the same style, right? And it gets annoying when that becomes hipster. And all of a sudden it's like fucking €100 for your jeans. You can't even get anything vintage because everybody's like, this shit's vintage. They'll sell this for money. Your guitars, your everything, like Vox guitars, like since I started playing them.
It all gets sucked into a trend, eh?
So much of a trend that, you know what I mean? Like, I only have to jump in there and outbid everybody else on these things or whatever, and people know for a fact. I gotta answer this door, so I guess I gotta cut you loose, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna put on a song. Take care, man. I'm sorry I talked.
If you have the audacity to believe that a financial advisor should look you in the eye when the topic is your money.
If you have the nerve to think that FaceTime should be the expectation, not the exception.
If you believe unreturned calls speak volumes.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and ThinkTime make a difference.
Join us. Join us.
Join us.
For 88 years, it's how Edward Jones has made sense of investing.